Hello, welcome back. I'm going to continue to talk about the book King Paimon and the grimoire with the title King Paimon, the Lord of the Endless Silence, the Lord of the Abyss. It is a grimoire. It is a very long book. It speaks about Paimon, the character Paimon, what he represents, and through the story and through these recordings there's always deeper insights in the elements of Paimon. There are always some elements hidden, of course. They'll say, well, the task to understand fully Paimon is unreachable, it's not possible. But it doesn't mean that one can still discover or get the meaning in the elements that one can see. And by seeing the elements that Paimon carries, one can understand who is King Paimon, and one can see Paimon, or in general, acknowledge Paimon in ways that, as I've said, he's not human, in physical form, but he is presence. He has his dominion as well. So King Paimon, there is history to him, who he represents, and there are different points of historical views. There's not a lot known about Paimon, but at the same time, what we know, it is old and it has very beautiful meaning as well. Of course, historical or archaeological, there are some things known about King Paimon, from which region he might come or from which places, and those we can see too through the element of the animals. The King Paimon, the three animals are the camel, the frog, and the snake as well. It's almost like the snake is the fourth one, and the third one is the monkey, the king, the frog, and the camel. And they're very much connected to the idea of the sand, of the hot sand. At the same time, as we know, King Paimon is a magician, and of course everything, as I've said, is always very connected with Paimon. Everything makes sense, everything is easy, everything can be understood in a very easy way, in a very beautiful way. So when we speak about King Paimon, we spoke about the mirror, which of course is connected to the sun, to the hot, to the sun, to the fire, to the heat, the transformational element that Paimon carries with it. It is a shiny surface. The shininess, all the aspects of any material or anything is very important. The meaning is important in King Paimon. Whatever he shows, the meaning is very deep, okay? The exercises that one does are not easy meditative. King Paimon, one has to understand, that's why I recommend the book. One has to understand who King Paimon is, how to be approached, and what energy or what type of honorable dominion power he holds. It is not to confuse things, to say, well, this is just another book, another created fantasy, whatever. I see King Paimon as real, okay? There is the element absolutely of his ability to interfere in the reality, and his ways to show different messages or different whispers, especially in the moments that one sits by himself. But he can appear at very unpredictable times. Sometimes you can hear music or tricklets of water. The same way when, they say when dogs bark, a cat is near, There's the same element of, the animals are connected to the deity or the demon, It's almost synonym to that, but it's foolish to say that Paimon is a demon, He is not. So one has to understand historically before starting to read a book after a character, the work which of course I have done. I have studied intensively. Even before thinking about writing the book, I was already studying and reading about King Paimon, and things connected almost in a natural way that I came about to write this book. I didn't expect that the book is so large. I just tried to make my best. I really wanted to create a masterpiece, and I think I succeeded. It is a masterpiece. As I've said, no matter how many other books I will write, King Paimon holds for me the number one space in my heart. I will always give King Paimon book and King Paimon in general this honor, of course, because it is well deserved. King Paimon is King Paimon. If one understands who King Paimon is, one gives the honor without any problems. Of course, why not? He is king. You bow. You have to bow the head down to a king. He teaches different aspects and almost clears mirrors or deals with elements that can be seen, understood in a very negative or wrong or mistaken way. And he speaks truth, he is wisdom, he does represent that. And the visions sometimes are very, very highly cryptic and very highly intellectual, okay? He is a genius. Of course, King Paimon has many talents. He has many keys, he has many doors, he has many mirrors. He is a magician. No, he is. King Paimon is a magician. It is said in his name, Paimon. At the same time, all the different connections we have done with his name, now Pai, meaning King Amon, king of the Amon, which is the sun god in the Semitic culture, or older cultures, appears in different cultures or religions as well. It's not only one, but it's the oldest. So it appears in the Assyrian, Babylonian. There is, of course, always elements, no? And Paimon represents the number 579. 2, there's always a multiplication or alternative of numbers, which is very interesting in a sequence way, the way they appear. This is the language of Paimon. The language of Paimon is symbolic, is cryptic, is highly intuitive, highly knowledgeable, and one sometimes really doesn't understand what it means, and in a calm way, awaits the answer, and at the right time the vision will clear, or at the right time some new information can come. There is no rush. King Paimon is not, he is king. One has to understand that King Paimon is king, then you understand now the energy and the qualities that King Paimon carry. The book is very, very beautiful. It is written in hymn form. It is an entire hymn on all these pages called Whispers of the Abyss. It's a very beautiful, beautiful hymn. And the first sentence in the text is, "Don't run away from me." King Paimon says, "Don't run away from me. I am the abyss. Don't be a fool." He is part of that. He does listen, and does he understand even the whispers of our mind, of hearts. He is magician. He can hear, he can see, even almost to say we don't know, but I do feel his presence in different ways, and the more intensively one works with him, the more intensely one can feel his energies. Sometimes, as I've said, totally unexpected. It's almost like a beautiful surprise. He comes with music, with sound. There's always a feeling of joy, of exhilaration, of happiness, of joy, of curiosity. There's a lot of child qualities of King Paimon. He's the child, the eternal child. King Paimon is eternal. That's the meaning of King Paimon. And he carries many other meanings, different connections, and at the same time, we still didn't reach what King Paimon is. Okay, we cannot. Okay, one, as I said, tries to look or meditate on a simple vision or a more complicated vision, and one can always find a little key or a bigger key. Who knows? Sometimes we don't know the result of something, but it doesn't mean that we should not try. Especially in the meditative process, one can imagine, or sometimes the images are created. When we read a poem, or specifically this book, you're going to have the images. It's very visual type of poem, type of book as well. And it's very much dialogue or written text or different stories, and it's all written in hymn form. It goes through from the beginning. There's a acceleration of situations. At the same time, there's some exchange of destiny. At the same time, there's like in the end a coming together. So there are these main three parts of the book. At the same time, there are many books or part of that book that I still didn't have time to talk about it. Okay, it is large. It is 745 pages. So I try to create it piece by piece, or explain or talk about it for me as well. Sometimes I focus on one specific vision. Sometimes it appears while I'm doing something else. But always general when I'm alone, so there's no, King Paimon is not invasive, King Paimon is the creator, he's magician, he is king, he has a lot of different qualities. Always when King Paimon comes, there's always good news, there's always joy, happiness. King Paimon always brings something. King Paimon He's a helper, a guide, a teacher, a master, one who definitely deserves his honor, and it is absolutely for me essential to work with him through the book, and at the same time to continue the work or the things that he has shown me, and I try to connect those visions with the answer that he wants me to find. There is a little bit hide and seek, but look, it's just simply the act of between the teacher and the student. Okay, of course the teacher asks a question where he knows or she knows that the student doesn't know, but that's the point of it. Okay, that's the point of it. So it's almost like, okay, there's the question, there's a key that has to be found. It's like, it's like a little test, so like, things can get interesting. There's this element of, sometimes I don't even ask for it, some visions come. It happened, most of it naturally. There were like 3 or 4 big important ones which I included in the book, and I have spoken in the recordings, and the elements are very repetitive. Now we spoke about the meaning of it. It is intellectual, but at the same time it's very beautiful, it's very scientific, it's very free. It has different aspects now. One can tap in and try, and there's a lot of meaning as well. Not to get too far away from the subject. As I said, the test is easy. You will find a key. The key is simple. Okay, sometimes we go in a more complex way, but that's a part of the exercise to reach that key. Sometimes, it's like, maybe I missed the answer. Maybe I can go a little back. Maybe I can repeat the scene, or maybe I can see as much as I can there, or what did I hear, what did I see, what were the elements that I tried to describe, so one can get idea, and then I describe different elements that are connected with Paimon. Most of the images are very, very visuals. That's why I call them visions, because they're very, very visuals. The things he shows me, and it's almost like a scene in a movie that I see it. Sometimes it appears like in space. Now it's almost like only I can see it, and